Computer. Oh, I love it. Is it recording? Okay. So the prayer that we're going to start with is one that was channeled to me, and very rarely am I able to get channeled prayers. So when I get them, they're like super powerful and really, really super meaningful. All right, hold on here. All right. So at this time, what I would like for you to do is to really just kind of, although it's really hard, for us to kind of just start disconnecting from everything around us, right? So this is a time to really just take in a deep breath, and we're going to do 4, 4, and 4, which is we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds if you can, and release for 4 seconds. And I want to do that, to do that 3 times, okay? So that we can kind of just start letting go of everything and just be in the sacred space that's just for you right now, okay? So here we go. So breathe in, hold, release, breathe in, hold, release, breathe in, hold, release. Okay. And the prayer goes like this. I am a light worker, an unsung hero. I show the light to others, but I do not sit in the limelight. I pass the torch forward relentlessly. I do it gladly with a humble heart. I am a warrior of the Legion of Light. My sword is peace. My shield is love. My armor is joy. And so it is. Aho, Ashe, Amen. All right. So that's just to kind of start creating like this sacred circle just for us. I also got a prayer from ACIM, A Course in Miracles. And it's, you can replace the word Father or Lord with universe or source. Okay. So don't get tripped up on the word Father or God. Okay. So it says, Father, you stand before me and behind me, beside me in the place that I see myself and everywhere I go. You are in all things I look upon, the sounds I hear and every hand that reaches for my own. As time disappears and place becomes a meaningless belief. For what surrounds your sons, your daughters, keeps them safe is love itself. There is no source but this love, and nothing else exists that does not share its holiness, that stands before you, your one creator, or without the love who holds all things within itself. We come to you in your own name today to be at peace within your everlasting love. Amen. Okay. So now we're going to get to the good stuff. Okay. So we're going to join the grandmother circle. Okay. And so sometimes people have a hard time visualizing. And so instead of trying to visualize, just listen to my cues that I'm going to give you. Okay. Some people are not visual. They're auditory, or they have other clairs that they work with, clairsentience, clairvoyance. So what I want you to do is I'm going to take a drink of water because I'm going to be doing some talking. I want to also let you know that, we are going to be working with the grandmother circle, but my Reiki, just in case you're interested, is Usui Reiki, which is by Kuan Yin, is the ascended master that I work with. Okay, she's one of many ascended masters that I work with, but when I go into Reiki, she's the one that I really mainly work with. And that energy, of course, is the energy of unconditional love, right? And so her energy to me always has like this pink and aqua, because she's very much associated with the water. And so those are the colors that we're kind of going to be working with if you like to work with colors. Now, the other thing is my OGs know this, but I do speak in light language, okay? And so for some people, you know, I've always tried to explain what light language is, and I always give a different answer every time, okay? So light language has been called angelic language, universal language, you know, the starseed language if you're working with the ascension process. And for me, all it is, it's like a radio station, right? And it helps us to just dial in with each other's energies, okay? So first, what I want to do is to unite our collective energy. So what I want you to imagine is that there's a ball of energy right here between myself and you guys, right? And this is our collective energy. So this is what we're going to pull from. This is what we're going to use, okay? And I think somebody's mic is on. So before we get started, let's see, who has their mic on? Okay, so I muted them. Yay, that's what's great about being the moderator from this end of it. I can mute. So we're gonna just unite our energy so that we become our own sisterhood for just a little bit, and we become our own collective. And that's really where we're just really going to be able to go to the higher level. So if you've ever been interested in working fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, this is where we can kind of unite our energies. Now, if you're somebody also who likes to channel, if you like to write, if you like to paint, this is also a really good time to kind of tap into those energies and be like super creative, okay? I just want to make sure because I feel like I hear somebody else's mic not being on. And it's just 7 participants. Okay. All right. So we're going to start with the crown chakra. And so for the crown chakra, the colors are changing up a little bit. Usually it's purple. And so I want you to imagine that it's this like carnelian color here, these really beautiful oranges. Yeah, you wear it. Yeah, and I think you had, it looks like you might have citrine, but I'm not sure. Yeah? Yes, all right. So we're gonna be working with these colors and we're gonna call in Archangel Uriel. Hold on, because I feel, let me see if I can manage this. Hold on, guys. I feel like I hear somebody else's mic on. Okay. All right. Very cool. So we're going to call in Archangel Uriel, who works with the crown chakra. And if you've never worked with the angels before, I just want you to just be really open to their presence and for them to come in so that we can just really, we're going to work with a couple of the archangels. And that's one of the groups that I worked with a lot. So what I got is that this is going to clear away any debris, any kind of junk that's up here, any kind of resistance, okay? So I'm going to do the light language and then I'm going to do the push. I'll push the energy out to you and you guys just kind of receive it, okay? And then what I want you to imagine is that it ricochets back here and comes to the collective energy. So we're really just gonna really just unite, okay? So here we go. Ayeye yume onaye koshu suwa yumaya natu suwa. Ah hey, iane se kujone tu sumuya nekesu saveyawa. Ane tu suweyo, iane he kunasu sameyone. Ale iane ke shinhasu sawa, ohoane ke and he shuwe. On the count of 3, be ready and open to receive. 1, 2, and 3. I love it. My hands are starting to tingle. Okay, so the second wave of energy is going to go to our third eye. And what I want you to imagine the colors are of Larimar. If you don't know what Larimar is, it's also very similar to Amazonite, very turquoise, pale turquoise, almost like an aqua aura. And also, this is not the usual color associated with the third eye, but we're going to work with Archangel Metatron. And so we're going to call him in, invite him into the circle. And this is also connecting to Lemuria, Atlantis energy, Atlantean energy, which also connects us to the twin flame soulmate energy, okay, which I've never done before. I've never called this energy in, okay? So this is also to help us when you work with your soulmate's energy, it magnifies your work by like tenfold, okay? And a lot of people don't know that you can work with your soulmate's energy, even if you're not with them, even if they're not a part of your life in the real 3D world. You can call that twin flame soulmate energy in when you do this kind of work, okay? So just want you to imagine the water energy, that really beautiful color of like Fiji water, okay? And I want you to imagine it hitting your third eye and clearing out what no longer serves you, okay? Aye ke jujame one yasu suam. Iane se juewe, kesane so suane a e sue kanhe shuayaman. Eseane e kasu sava. A heone keshane sumea. Alewe. On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now we're going to go to the third and final wave of energy. And this one is going to go to the heart chakra, right? Because this is where all healing happens, right? It starts with the heart. And a lot of us as women, this is a clouded area, okay? Because we've given so much. And we give too much in a lot, especially as healers, as empaths. And, you know, if you have children, you just give everything. And what happens is then you, it's kind of starts to have, you start to have like a gap, right? Where you've given so much, especially if you're a healer and you do this work all the time, you're just giving too much of self. Also as women, and my voice is starting to change a little bit here. As women, we have a lot of hurts. You know, people have wounded us and they've wounded us deeply. And what happens is usually when I try to send the energy, women cannot receive it. So what I want you to say is I want you to kind of talk to your heart, let your heart know that this is unconditional love with no strings attached, okay? And that will make it a lot easier to receive. So what I am going to do, what I'm being guided to do, is something I do with my one-on-one clients when they're having a hard time opening, because I feel somebody's going to have a little bit of resistance here. And so I want you to do a small visualization. And I want you to imagine that your heart has 33 petals. Beautiful, they're beautiful, lovely petals. But in their beauty, they are protecting you and keeping you from being able to receive this unconditional love of Kuan Yin and Archangel Raphael. So what I want you to imagine is that I want you to see those petals peel back one by one as you give yourself permission to receive loving energy that is just the same energy that a mother has for their child, okay? And sometimes that's really hard for us to receive. So I just want to keep peeling back, opening those petals, opening them to reveal your sacred heart. And Raphael is coming in, and he's going to help us with the beautiful emeralds, the emerald color. We're working with the emerald, the green ray, okay, of healing. And so I'm going to do the light language, and I will count to 3 and just push that energy right into your heart chakra. Okay, so here we go. Aye ke sueome anasu suanawana ke shumayana. Asaneo ke sushueome iane se suana kashuma. Ahe iane kasu save iane te sushumayumana. Asumane ehe susuva. On the count of 3, 1, 2, and big push, 3. Okay. Now, I was going to stop at the heart chakra, but I'm being guided to the solar plexus, okay? And the solar plexus is where we hold all our trauma. For me, I know there's other areas. There's also the sacral. Women hold trauma in their in their in their uterus, in that sacred space. And so we're just going to connect those areas, and we're going to call in Archangel Shamuel. This is a very yellow, golden, golden orange energy. Okay. And what I'm feeling is that, you know, a lot of times when we are stressed or we're anxious or depressed, we hold that area so tight. Like that's the first area that kind of like, you know, you're like, it's like wearing a corset, right? And so what I want you to imagine is a really beautiful golden spiral of energy. And so that when it hits you, that it's going to use this spiral to kind of just knock out any debris, okay, in this motion here, like a windmill, like a little windmill, right? Just knock it right out so that we can clear this area up, because this is a big area where we just never take deep breaths, right? As most of the time, we have problems with breathing because we can never take that deep breath. So I'm going to get some water, and then I'll go ahead and send that energy. Okay. Ayane lawe, ayane yana soa, Iane sushivaya nakasu samanate, iale ke suswashuva, ane te sumene kase tusuva, ohoshan, elewe kese suve, iane te sunamaya nakasu suva. On the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. I just want you to imagine that it's just taking all of that. And we're going to bring in the Archangel Zadkiel's violet flame, right? And we're just going to take all of this stuff that we've released and we let go of and just send it to the violet flame of Saint Germain so he can transmute it into something really, really beautiful and send it to Mother Gaia, okay? And she's just going to purify it. Okay. So I'm also being guided that we're going to clear the most sacred area of all, right? Which I feel it's the sacral chakra, right? And it's right between the belly button and the top of the pelvic bone. And a lot of us have healing that needs to be done there for different reasons. A lot of times it's because things have gone there that haven't, or maybe there are times when we've allowed people to enter that sacred area and we're really just like, there's a part of us that's like, oh, you know, for whatever reason, just, oh, you know, I'm just going to do this, you know, I'm just going to, you know, make my partner happy. And, you know, for us, what we don't realize is it's a violation. It's just the same as any other. And so I don't know who this is for, but you know, I'm definitely getting, I've never done this. Okay, guys, I've never done this during my, when I do this Reiki. So we're just going to call in, I'm trying to see who's going to come in for us to clear this area. I'm going to call in Archangel Ariel, and she is a very strong angel. She's one of the very few female angels that we work with. And she is the lioness of God. So I think she's very appropriate to come in and clear and bless this area, okay? Sayane Ayane Onasumane. Ejeane Kosuzueome. On the count of 3. 1, 2, and 3. All right, well, that was unexpected. So that's why it's good to just go with the flow and go with what comes in. So that song was just like a calling, a remembrance is what I'm getting, to remember your sacredness. That part of you is your temple. It's your temple. And a lot of times we don't treat it as holy. We don't treat it as divine. And that really, the cellular memory there holds that, right? Anytime that it's felt like it's been invaded or, taken for granted, your cellular structure in that area, the womb just holds that. And so that's why it's good to just send this energy to purify it and to release all of that, So yay. I like that. That was really cool. Okay. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to get to actually go to the grandmother circle. So this is where your power of visualization is really, really important. Okay. So in this united stream of consciousness, we're working on the super high vibe right now. Okay. So we are all kind of united and we are working, whether you realize it or not at this point, 5, 6, 7D. Okay. And this is what's great about working with collective energy. Sometimes it's hard for us to do it by ourselves. But when you're with other people and you have somebody just zooming and taking you up there, it makes it a lot easier. And so I definitely recommend that if you can, when we are done, for you to do whatever it is that's part of your spiritual practice, because it's going to take it up like 5 levels. Okay. If you've wanted to channel, let's say, and maybe you've had, this is something that you've tried to do, you want to channel the archangels, or you want to, you're artistic. This is a great time for you to get off and do what you do. If you're a painter, if you sketch, if you, if you're a writer and you write poetry, like this is a great time to get in touch with all of that as soon as we're done here. I've actually had people who, while we were on, were actually creating art and creating things, making things, because it was such a high level. Okay. So like I said, the collective that we're going to be speaking with and that we're going to work with is the grandmother circle of the 6 blue feathers. And this goes back to Atlantean times. Okay. So back in those times, there was 12 tribes, right? And so we're working with one of the original 12 tribes. And the 12 tribes also each had their own crystal skull energy. And those crystal skulls were very much like computers today. Okay. So a lot of people, like, I remember when I first saw or heard about crystal skulls, I was like, oh no. That's not for me. And now I have 3 of them because they hold the wisdom and of Atlantis and Lemuria. Lemuria was before Atlantis. So some of us even go back. Yes, you have a Lemurian crystal. Yes, girl. Yes. Fabulous. So this is great because I wasn't sure if people really kind of understand what I was saying. Sometimes it's like a foreign language, right? You're like, what is she talking about? What's Atlantis? Nobody believes in that, but I do know that we've all, anybody who's on here with me right now, you've had a lifetime in Atlantis. You've had lifetimes in Lemuria, right? Because that's where like is drawn to like. Right. And so that's why we're here. And I'm starting to get, like, right now, I'm just starting to, to like get chills running up and down the back of my head and my shoulders, which means that this is truth. Right. Sometimes I say things and I'm like, oh, that sounds really cool. But, I'm actually feeling like, okay, girl, you're in the zone, you're in the right vibration. And one of the temples that was back then was the Isis temple, right? And a lot of you know who Isis is, but she really started way back in Atlantis and Lemuria in the temple of love, right? And so a lot of us were high priestesses for some of these goddesses, right? We were the high priestesses, and we were the ones who would, it's kind of getting off track, but it's not. We would initiate the young men because we wanted to teach them to understand and to really appreciate the divine feminine, so that they would then in turn be gentle with the girls. Okay, so this was one of some of our jobs. I know there's going to be some men watching. Hi, Alex. Okay, so she's showing some of her drawings, and Heather, we'll definitely, I want to share those at the end, because she draws symbols and so do I. And I actually got a symbol for this group meeting. It's, and I definitely want to share it out. I'll send it to you guys all in a messenger, because that symbol is for you guys specifically to work with for yourselves to raise your vibrations when you're no longer part of the group. The other great thing about this grandmother circle that we're going to is many of the others here are already initiated. Once you become initiated today, you can go into this grandmother circle anytime you want, okay? You do not need me to do it. You don't need anybody else. And you can go to these women for guidance, for support, to answer questions. I've even used this circle to help other people as because I'm a medium, but I'm not. Mediumship is like I can do it, but it's like a battle for me. But when I go to the grandmother circle, I can call in that soul that somebody's trying to reach, and it makes it a lot easier for me. So this grandmother circle is invaluable. And as an initiate, you are able to go in the future anytime that you want, okay? So that's another really good blessing. And if you have a hard time later, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really trying to connect with them, just let me know, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of advice on how to be able to kind of raise your vibration to get into the frequency of the grandmother circle, right? So we're going to start with the visualization, and just remember that the place that I'm going to direct you to is the one that resonates with you the most. So it's either Lemuria or Atlantis. For me, it's Lemuria. Before Atlantis, I know that I had many lifetimes there. And so that energy is very much, we were crystalline beings. We were crystalline, now we're DNA, right? We're in a heart suit is what I call it, right? But back then, of course, we were crystalline. And so this is the energy that we're tapping into, which is just incredible. It's a really beautiful, peaceful, incredible energy. So I want you, when we start the visualization, you're going to be outdoors. So I want you to see in your mind's eye whether you are in Lemuria or you're in Atlantis, okay? So here we go. Close your eyes. And take a deep cleansing breath. So I want you to imagine that you are standing in a beautiful, open green field. The sky is a deep blue, and you can smell the flowers in this field. The sun is shining down upon you. And ahead of you, you see a group of women. In the distance, they are waving at you. They are calling you to come to them. You can see that they're dancing, they are singing, and they are so excited to see you. So as you get closer to them, you see their exuberance. You see the women are Native American, but they seem to be from different tribes and they're different ages. And they are singing to you. They are dancing. You're welcome. And as you approach them, they are touching you. They are holding you. They're touching your hair. And as you approach, they move aside so that you can enter the circle. And they are so excited because at last you are home, dear one. As you walk past them, some say hello to you. They say, welcome back, dear sister. you see in the center of this circle the oldest grandmother of this council. And she is so old, she doesn't have a name. She doesn't need one. She just is. And she's all that ever was. And she tells you that you are going to receive a clearing, a cleansing, and a blessing from the grandmothers. And she tells you that she will choose 2 of the grandmothers to help you. She then picks out 2 grandmothers from the circle, and they come forward, and one is standing on each side of you. And as they come to stand beside you, the women move over, and you see an opening. And at the opening, you see a sacred, crystal clear river. The 2 grandmothers step forward, and they bring you to the river's edge, and they tell you to undress. Now, this is simply symbolic. It is a symbol of you letting go, of releasing things and thoughts and stress that no longer serve you. And as your clothes fall to the ground, so do your worries, your fears, and your concerns. They tell you to enter the water so that they can clear and cleanse you. You lay down in the water and you float as they scrub your body. They cleanse your feet. They cleanse your hair. They rub all of your body. And as they do, you start to feel lighter. You start to feel freer, and you feel totally relaxed because you know that you are safe. So allow yourself to release any leftover concerns. Let them float away from you to wash away downriver. Next, they show you a waterfall across the way, and they tell you to swim over to it and immerse yourself in that current of water. You swim over and you notice that the water is a beautiful, very light shade of pink, the color of unconditional love. You sit under it and you allow this refreshing water of unconditional love to just fall upon you, to flow onto you. And as it does, you feel freer and lighter. And it first enters your crown chakra, and as it does, you have the most incredible feeling of love, like that love a mother has for her child. Allow this deeply loving feeling to flow into your third eye, down, down, down to your heart chakra, down into your solar plexus. Just feel it filling you up, down into your sacral chakra. Just beautiful, pink, crystal, unconditional love. Feel it go down into your base chakra and feel that just fill up with love. And then have it continue down through your thighs, your knees, your calves, out through your feet, and then to Mother Gaia. Sit in this space for a moment of this unconditional love. Now you swim back to the 2 grandmothers, and they hold a beautiful rainbow robe for you to wear. This robe is amazing. It is the colors of the rainbow, and it is a living robe. The colors are swirling, moving throughout the robe, and bringing the robe alive. And these rainbow colors fill you up. Now it's time to go back to the circle, to the center. As you step in front of the old grandmother, she places her hand on your third eye and she speaks a blessing. Ida Tisime Batashuva. Ea Nekesuash. Alewe Ketesueme Nanata Suvash. Aye to survey. Ea Nekeshusa Dobate Name. Ikeate Susave Kasho na. Ea Ye Kesuve no me. Oate Subashna Kota Sai. Ane. Esowa. Aho. And as she is speaking, she placed a gift in your hand. You open your eyes and you thank her for the gift and for her blessing. Now we'll come back to the present time of times so that you can see what the gift is. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And sometimes the gift doesn't come till later, and that's okay, right? Because those are the best gifts, the surprises, when you don't really expect it. And sometimes the gift is spiritual, and sometimes it's an actual item that you actually see, right? It's different for every person. It's never the same thing, ever. I've seen some really incredible things that women have received, when she places the gift in the hand, right? Sometimes it's like a shamanic gift, it could be a rattle, it could be a staff. Sometimes it's keys. People they actually receive like keys. Yeah. So, like I said, if you don't get it right now, it's okay. You'll get it throughout the day. At some point, you're going to get it. Okay. And it's always fun to see what it is, because a lot of times it's never what you think it's going to be. And that's the best thing. It's because it's not what you think, it's what you need. Because spirit knows better than you, right? We think we know best, but we really don't. Okay. So while we're in this really, really great space of being high vibrational and being so close to spirit and so close to source, I want you to do an exercise, okay? And if you don't know what A Course in Miracles is, I think most of you do, but not everybody. I highly recommend it. It's hard to explain, so I think I wrote down what it is, just so that you can kind of get an idea. So let's see where I wrote down the definition of what it is. Okay, so ACIM was channeled to keep it brief, but I do have a video on it. If you want the video, I can send it to you. It gives you a little bit better, more detailed explanation of what A Course in Miracles is. It's taking over the spiritual world right now. Everybody's doing it. All the big wigs, all the gurus are following A Course in Miracles. It's 365 lessons, right? One for each day. And so it's a complete self-study spiritual thought, right? There's a 3-part curriculum channeled through the Ascended Master Jesus, right? And it teaches the way, the most important thing about it is that it teaches the way to universal love and peace by undoing your guilt through the act of forgiveness, of forgiving yourself and forgiving others. So the thought process of A Course in Miracles is that there's only 2 ways to be: love and fear. Fear is what's programmed into us. This is what we are taught. We are taught about attack thoughts, right? Attack thoughts are thoughts that you have against yourself, right? Women, men have this secret dialogue. And this dialogue is our ego. And it tells us how fucked up we are, how terrible we are, how stupid we are, how fat we are. And so this is a programming that started usually as children. And it wasn't done on purpose. Sometimes it was taught on purpose. Some people had some rough parents growing up, right? And so what this really teaches you is that all of that is a lie. All those things are a lie. The ego is good. A healthy ego is great, but most people don't have a healthy ego. And so the Course in Miracles, what it tries to do And the reason why it's 365 days of lessons is because we're so stubborn that, you know, we have to get the same. Sometimes we just have to get things pounded into our heads because we've grown up with a certain way of thinking for 20, 30 years. Some of us, you know, 40 plus years, like me. And, you know, so the Course in Miracles really has to extend to 365 days, right? And you can get this on YouTube. You can go on YouTube. You can find each day you can go on and do that for free. You can get the PDF for free, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's huge. It's a ridiculous amount of file. You could get the book used on Amazon. Just get the workbook. There's a couple of different things. Just get the workbook. I'm telling you, if you are looking for something to change your life, okay? If you are looking for something that don't cost much, that actually works, A Course in Miracles is for you, okay? And so the one part that I absolutely love is, yeah, girl, we're wrapping up. Hold on. Somebody wants to know this. Okay, is lesson 71. Now, when you read A Course in Miracles, it really sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. I'm not gonna lie. It's really, really hard to digest. But if you can get the workbook, it's really much more simplified, okay? And so a lot of times I know that people are so far apart from their passion and their purpose, right? And they're like, you're searching so long. Like I didn't find my passion and purpose till I was like 42, 43. And by the time I found it, I really felt, even though this is an illusion, it's not true, right? This is my ego. I felt like I was kind of like almost too late. I was like, I figured this out at 42, like, I don't really have that much time left, like what the F, right? And so if you're wanting to know right now, you know, what is your purpose? What are you here to do? What should you be doing? I got some perfect questions, okay? And so the first question that I want you to ask, and that the Course asks, is you ask God, Spirit, Source, what would you have me do today? So I just want you to ask Spirit, and do not try to figure out what the answer is, okay? Really just allow the message to come to you and say, what would you have me do today? Just simple. So the first thing I heard was laugh. And it's just laugh, and you're like, no, I want something deeper than that. Like, give me something more than that. Like, I don't want just the word laugh. And that's how I was when I would first sit down and try to talk to Spirit and talk to Source, right? But let's face it, how many of us actually spend time in our fun, spend time in our spontaneity, spend time in our joy, spend time in our passion? We don't do it. You are so busy being in survival mode that we don't take the time to what I love Gabby Bernstein. And one of the things that she says, I did one of her courses, and she says, you know what? You want to live life, you want to follow the fun. Follow the fun in your life. And if you can't follow any fun in your life, you need to get back to it. You need to figure it out. You know, one of the things that I do as a coach, one of the questions that I ask is, what do you do for fun? It's one of the first questions I ask. I cannot tell you how many men and women can't get past that first question. And I have like 20. And they can't get past the first question. And they message me and they say, I can't do it. I don't have fun. Like, I don't even know what that is anymore. You know, how can I get past this? How can I get past the other questions? If I can't even pass the first question, is I forgot how to have fun. I forgot to be that cool girl. I forgot to be that cool guy. Like, I forgot how to do that. You know, life has just kicked me in the ass so hard that I can't even remember, Like, yeah, once in a while I'll have a good time, but I can't stay in that space, right? Yeah, we all have a little bit of fun once in a while, but it's so hard for us to just stay in that space. And when you are in that space of laughing, of having fun, of joy, guess what? You're in the highest vibration that you can be as a human being, is joy and love, right? Those are the two. And so you have to say to yourself, what am I doing? Why am I on this hamster wheel of the struggle bus of just trying to do for everybody? And I don't have a good time. Like, I can't even know how to let loose and relax anymore, right? And so that's why the first answer is a simple word. Just laugh. That's all I want you to do today, because you know what happens? When you get into that vibration, the law of attraction starts to work, and it brings things to you. Because you're so attractive, because you're in such a space of joy, happiness, and love, that naturally, without you having to and just make things happen, right? We got to make things happen. That stuff comes to you because you're in this beautiful space. You're just living in the moment. That is the key to manifesting. The key to manifesting, I can tell you that the key to manifesting is not crying about what happened in the past. I can promise you that. That's right. It's not in the past. It's not about regret. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done that. Oh my gosh, that was such a mistake. And oh, this happened to me in my life. And you know, and all you do is you think about those things when people have hurt you. You cannot, it is impossible to manifest anything. And you say, but I really was hurt. Like, people, this was a terrible thing that happened to me. Yes. And you can acknowledge it, but until you forgive it, until you forgive yourself, until you forgive that person, you are living in the past. And if there's parts of you, small parts of you that are anchored in the past, you are not going to manifest what you want today. You just cannot do it. You cannot live in the past and manifest what you want. And you can really live in your past. You can really feel your sorrow and your pain and be self-righteous and say, these things happened to me. They were wrong. And I just want to talk about that all day long. And guess what? You can do that. That's your free will. That's your choice. But guess what? Nothing else good is going to come to you, because you're so busy being focused on something that you cannot change. You know, no matter how many times you run that scenario in your mind, you're not going to change it. You wish that you do. You hope that you do. Every single time you think about it, you think in some part of you that's going to change the outcome, and it's not. And so you have to, when you are in love, when you are in joy, you're in the now moment. And no other moment counts except for what's right in front of you, right here, right now. Sometimes the other thing that we do is we worry about the future. This bill is coming up. That bill is coming up. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Right? But when you're in that space of fear and worry, once again, you cannot manifest what you desire. And so what the Course in Miracles tries to get you to do is to rewire your brain and rewire your thinking. And that's really tough when we've been doing things for 10, 15, 20 years and we've thought certain things, right? So Course in Miracles is about forgiving yourself first, right? And you're like, why should I forgive myself? Everybody done things to me, right? But a lot of times we are harder on ourselves than we are on anyone else. And if people think we're tough on them, they should see how tough we are on the inside, with that secret dialogue that you have with yourself that nobody knows about. And so what it tries to do is it tries to, every time you have a thought like that, they want you to pivot. It's called pivoting in coaching, right? Pivot real quick, like move. Do something to get out of that. As soon as you start going downhill and you start feeling negative, or you start beating yourself up, or you're looking at that girl and you're going, damn, she's dressed like that, and she went out, I'd never dress like that. That's an attack thought. It's a judgmental thought. It's a simple thing, and we do it all the time. And we don't even realize that what we're doing is we're going into the ego mode and we're feeding it, right? Because then you're saying in some way, shape, or form, well, I'm better than that, right? And we're not. We're all one. We are all one. All women are one. All men are one, and we are together, we are one. So if you say something to one, you're really saying it to yourself. There's a part of you, if you're judging somebody else, and we do it all the time, we can only imagine how much we judge ourselves. And it's something that we have to stop doing if we want to manifest shit in our lives, right? If you want that miracle, if you want that prosperity, if you want that abundance, then you have to learn to stop beating yourself up and stop judging yourself, stop judging other people. And that's what A Course in Miracles does. So we ask Lord Spirit, everybody gets a different answer. Just talk to me. Tell me, what do you want me to do today? Or what would you have me do? It could just be an open-ended sentence. What would you have me do? And just wait for that answer to come in, okay? Here's another one. The next question is, okay, where would you have me go? Where would you have me go? That could be a physical thing, or it could be a spiritual question, right? And I just want you to listen to Source for a minute and just say to Source, where would you have me go? And if nothing comes to you now, then you can definitely do this later. But Spirit, where would you have me go where I can serve the greater good, where I can serve my highest good? And the next question is, what would you have me say? What would you have me say today? And to whom? So, what would you have me say? And to whom do you want me to speak it to? Who would you have me say it to? Was it to myself? Is it to one of my children? Is it to my spouse, my partner? Is it to a friend? Is it a group of people? Maybe you're meant to serve on a greater level. A lot of us don't push ourselves. We stay in our comfort zone. And I know that I am, one of the things that Spirit wants me to do is to do more of these, but live and in person, right? Not online. So I know that that's when I ask that question, they're like, well, you want me to tell you, but you're not going to want to hear it. That's the other thing is you have to really be open to what Spirit says to you and don't reject it, right? Because the first thing that you're going to do is, ooh, no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But then you get pissed because you say, oh, Spirit, don't talk to me. But Spirit does talk to you. It just tells you the stuff you don't want to hear, right? And most of the time, it's about getting you out of your comfort zone. That's the number one, because we get so caught up in the safe zone. We just want to be safe. We just want to stay safe. Ego wants you to stay safe. And sometimes it's not just because it's selfish, but because it doesn't want you to get hurt. And so there's too many chances when you put yourself out there for somebody to say a harsh word, or for someone to give you their opinion, or for, people to just, to give them that forum. And yeah, that is true. But it's also true that passion and joy and love and life are on the other side of your fear. If you could just break through your fears, that's when shit happens. That's when shit happens. That's when things really start to open up for you. And so you make sure that when you ask whoever it is, whether it's God, the universe, angels, source, that you are going to accept, that you are really going to be open to that answer, okay? Because we'll get the answer, and maybe we'll just be, I want a different answer. No, you don't get a different answer. You don't, no, there's no different answer, okay? It's what you get in that moment, because right now you're high vibing. You are high vibing. And so whatever comes to you right now is exactly what you need to hear. It's not what you want to hear, okay? And so who do you need to say these words to? That's the important thing. Not only what would you have me say? And I think of saying as write. It could be writing. It could be a message it could be a huge message like a book, you know. It could be a lot of different things. So don't limit yourself on what would you have me say. And sometimes to make it easier, I just say, what would you have me say today? Who would you have me say it to today? To just narrow that down so it's not like this big focus, right? So just kind of just hone it in. And a lot of times too, you already know the answers to some of these things, but you just don't dare to wish it. You just don't dare to dream it, you know? You know what the things, you know what your passion could be, but you don't want to acknowledge it because you're afraid that then you have to act on it, right? When you know what your passion is, sometimes you just like, ooh, no, I think that would be nice. That would be nice. But then you back away from it, right? And so this is about being unapologetic about what you want, about what you desire. Be real with yourself. And when you're open that way, then source can give you whatever message when you're in that space of I'm unapologetic. You know, a lot of times as women, we apologize for shit. You know, oh, I had to go get this. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have to go do a favor for a friend, honey bun. I'm so sorry. I know that this is on your time, you know, and we got to stop apologizing as men or women, right? For wanting what we want. It's time to own your shit. Like if it's time for us to claim what we want, what we desire. And when you are in that space, these questions are easier for source to come in and answer those questions. And then you can stop bitching about, well, I never get any messages, right? I never can channel anything. God don't talk to me. Jesus don't talk to me. And it's because Jesus's energy is so peaceful. It just it goes under the radar, right? It really goes under the radar because we're here with agitation, frustration, depression, anxiety. We're on the struggle bus. We're rushing. We're trying to get things done. And Jesus's energy could go right by you. Any energy, any loving energy, whoever it is that you would love to, God, Mary, everybody has somebody that they connect with, right? But it just goes right by you because you're so in this struggle bus, place, right? And so I really would love for you to answer these questions in meditation, in prayer mode, whatever works for you, and really be open. And I think you're going to see some stuff that you're going to be like, oh, snap. Like, I know I didn't write that because I don't talk that way, right? And you ever got a message like that and you're like, that ain't me. Sometimes people like, how do you know? How do you know that you're not just, I get credit. How do you know that that's like, how do you know? How do you know you're not just making that up? Because it's in words that I don't speak. That's how I know it's source. That's how I know I'm channeling something else because it's not the way that I phrase things. I'm very much like a slang girl, like everything's slang that comes out of my mouth. Every fourth word out of my mouth is a curse, because I grew up from New York and that's just the way we are. We're just ridiculous like that. And so when you get messages on peace or love or, oneness or where they tell you to get over yourself, yeah, I got that. Get over yourself. You want to know what to do? Get over yourself. And you're like, okay, I know that spirit because I would never say that because, I'm cool. So why would I say that about myself, right? And so this is the reason why I'm talking about this is because I don't want you to have to always go outside of yourself to get the answers, right? I want you to be able to get those answers yourself. And the only way that you're going to do that is you got to have your spiritual practice. Yes, you have to be on your spiritual game, okay? And you have to be persistent. It has to be more important than anything else. Because if you can get your spiritual shit straight, it will align everything else in your life. If you can get your spirituality on a routine, you know, and sometimes we're going to mess up and maybe we do something in the afternoon, but if you can create a routine, then you're going to align yourself and put yourself in a position to be in alignment with the law of attraction. Okay. And the other thing that we have to learn as men and women is to wear your crown. That's why I call myself the inner queen coach, because one of the channelings I got is, when are you going to stop acting like a princess and act like the queen that you are? You know, like, you talk a good game, but get that crown on your head. Wear it, acknowledge it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed by it. Don't be afraid to, don't be apologetic about the shit that you want. Wear your crown. And when you wear your crown, you are passionate, you are joyous, you are in alignment. And it's not about being a bitch. It's about claiming what you really want, stop the bullshit, and get shit done. Stop procrastinating. Stop putting your stuff on the back burner and putting everybody else's stuff up front. Because then what happens is, this is what's left for you. This right here, that little tiny thing, that little space between my nails, this is what's left for you when you don't own your crown, when you don't step forward, right, and claim what's your shit. So the next thing that we're going to do is something called tapping. Okay, so EFT tapping was created a while ago, and it's also making a big comeback. EFT tapping, I think, was created 30 years plus, and ACIM was about 40 years, and it's no mistake that this is coming in huge for us right now. All of a sudden, it's making a comeback. Nobody even heard of it about a year ago. Right? 2 years ago, nobody really knew what EFT tapping was. And all of a sudden it's making this huge and surge. And it's because we are getting help to raise our vibration, right? Whether you believe it's God, source, star seeds. And one of the gifts that have been given to us is this EFT tapping. And it's short for emotional freedom techniques. And so what it does, when I first saw it, right, because you're actually literally tapping on yourself, I thought it was the stupidest thing. I saw it 2 years ago, and I thought, I will never do that. And you would never, most especially, catch me doing that on camera, because that's just never going to happen, because it looks so stupid. And, you know, and I just kept seeing it wherever I went. I just kept seeing it. And my really great good friend, Marion, was like, you know what, let's do it. What do we got to lose? It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Let's try it. It's working for a lot of other people. So, and let's do it, right? So basically what you're doing, it's using the Ayurvedic system of energy points in your body. And you're activating those, you're waking them up. You're waking those parts on you. You're bringing them to life along with affirmations. So the way EFT talks is, you talk about the problem. What is the problem? What is the thought that's blocking you? And you kind of tap on that for a little bit, and then for like, you know, maybe like 30 seconds, and then you start working on the solution. Okay. And so I've only done this a couple times, guys, in front of people. So it's like, you know, hopefully I'll get it right. Okay. So the tapping points are, we're going to start with the, what's called the karate chop, right? So you take your 3 fingers and you're going to go here, and then we're going to go to, I think the way that I did it, then we go to the, here on the third eye, and then you just follow along with me. So, but we're going to work on all of these, and this is all about affirmations. Again, you could go on YouTube and you could find plenty on EFT tapping, whatever it is that you want to work on, somebody's done a video on it, okay? So the one that I chose is EFT tapping for bringing in miracles, or bringing in a miracle today. Today, we want a miracle today, okay? But our limiting belief is that we don't deserve it, or, you know, it's never gonna happen for me. Like, I gave up on miracles a long time ago, you know. So those are the beliefs that we have to kind of just change our neurology on, and change the way that we're thinking, and changing our pathways, okay? So take a deep breath in. And just clear it out, to let it all go, okay? So we're gonna start with the karate chop right here. And it says, even though I really want a miracle, to show up in my life, I don't believe that I deserve it. So I'm going to go here. Even though I would love to have miracles in my life, I get discouraged because I feel resistance. I'm going to go to the side of the eye. I know that I have to honor my feelings of discouragement and resistance. I bless those feelings. Under the eye, even though I have resistance, I am still saying yes to my miracles. Under the nose, something amazing is lining up for me today. And this is also true. On the chin, miracles are unfolding for me right now. On the collarbone, I am open to receiving miracles because I am a child of the universe. Over the heart, my miracle is just about to appear. It's already mine. I simply have to claim it. Center of the chest, I say to my miracle, I will receive you today. Top of the head, I thank the universe for giving me what I deserve. Amen. Okay. And so hopefully, you know, that it is weird at first. So it's hard to really kind of get into it when you've done it for the first time. But I promise you that the more that you do it, the more it doesn't feel as silly, right? And then you can really feel the benefits of it. And like I said, you can go on YouTube and you can find EFT tapping on anything, okay? All right, so what I want to do is I want to open it up. Everybody can, you know, as whoever wants to speak can speak. So what I want to do is go back from the beginning. We're going to backtrack a little bit here and start with the opening prayers, or, you know, and if you want that opening prayer, the I am a light worker, an unsung hero, I think I can send that to you. So I want to go over what was your like biggest aha moments. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording so nobody else has to hear it. Oh, no, not that. I don't want that. Hold on. Oops. Knock this off.